During the coronavirus pandemic, there's been a concern of child abuse going unreported. Coming up, the disturbing trend experts are seeing in the kinds of cases being called in. Good morning. Glad you're joining us. I'm Rebecca Hager.
I'm Adam Atchison. Brilliant sunrise out there to start the day. Kind of a preview of what we're going to be expecting. A whole lot of sun in the next 24 hours.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for the heat, but I guess it's just another day, another dog day of summer because we had it yesterday too.
Right, and maybe just plan to stay.
So as we see more cases of coronavirus in Colorado, there's also concern over another disturbing trend this morning. Child abuse reports have gotten more severe during the pandemic.
It's not something you want to hear. 11 News reporter Melissa Henry is live in Colorado Springs. Melissa, what are experts saying? Right now, the Teller County Sheriff's Office is asking any possible sexual assault victims of a local pharmacist to come forward. Detectives say this guy, Brent Stein, owns a local Mountain Key pharmacy in Florissant and used online dating sites to lure women to his home with a promise to heal their ailments. But he allegedly sexually assaulted and raped them. One woman came all the way from Indiana. Detectives say he incapacitated her with medication before assaulting her.
Convince him to leave the home.
Just awful. Investigators say other women have come forward. This is happening today. President Trump is meeting with the president of Mexico at the White House. The leaders are celebrating the new North American Free Trade Deal. The United States-Mexico-Canada agreement went into effect 1 week ago today. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will not be at that meeting.
News for a local animal shelter that significantly fewer pets are needing adoption this morning.
Which kind of stinks if you want one.
That's
You're
true.
Looking for one, right? The Humane Society of the Pikes Peak region says they can do more with pets inside because they have fewer. 11 News reporter Kasha Courage is joining us live from there now. Kasha, they emptied their shelter at one point during the quarantine. Yeah, I think a lot of people brought home pets while they had more time at home. Hopefully they can keep them safe at home and have a great and happy life. Thank you. So right now, a local man is facing a harassment charge for something he said to a group of teenagers. Ahead, how a party led to a police call.
Also, a report that could potentially...
Today, the final civil rights report by the ACLU of Facebook's policies and practices will be released. It's from a years-long audit. Meanwhile, Facebook just met with civil rights groups leading an advertising boycott on the site. The groups want Facebook to take a stronger stance against hate speech and misinformation. The group's leaders say they were disappointed that Facebook didn't give any promises during that meeting. In a statement, though, Facebook said it will be judged by actions, not words.
A man in southern Colorado is facing a harassment charge this
New this morning, a former teacher who made headlines in the 1990s for having an affair with a 13-year-old student has passed away. Mary Kay Letourneau died at her home late yesterday from cancer. Most of her family, including her ex-husband and former student, were there with her. Letourneau was 34 years old when she began an affair with a 13-year-old. She served 7 years in prison on charges related to their sexual relationship.
Time now 6:18.
Researchers say some popular home security cameras have the potential to tip off burglars when you're not home. Researchers from London's Queen Mary University say when someone is home, their movement requires the cameras to upload more data. But when no one is home, that amount of data is smaller. So a crook would have to figure out a way to monitor that data change without hacking the cameras, and then that's how they might be able to tell if no one's home. Researchers say they're not aware that any criminals have actually done this yet.
So people in one state are protesting over an attack that police are investigating as a hate crime. Coming up on 11 News, what cell phone video shows and the next steps in the investigation.
But first, the conference that's meeting today that could indicate if we'll see college sports this year. Welcome back to 11 News this morning. Time is 6:22. Live look outside from downtown Colorado Springs. Looking at Pikes Peak. Blue skies there. You're going to be seeing a lot of sun today. Sydney's got to look at your forecast coming up.
Hate crime.
Terrible. Let's check back in with our meteorologist, Sydney Jackson. She's got to look at the day ahead. If you're waking up now, get outside now before it's too hot.
Right, and maybe take the dog on a walk early today. We're still hanging on to the trees in an hour, so that's really toasty. Don't leave anything in the car that can melt. For me, that would be cookies, something like that, or chocolate. Don't leave that in the car because you'll have a problem.
And turn on the AC.
Yeah.
Just get it warmed up because you're going to need it later.
Or cooled down.
Cooled down, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got to get it warmed up.
Warm up the
before it's cooled
AC
down.
to
You know what
cool
I
it
mean.
down.
But I think, Lucy, to your point about chocolate, the only thing worse than melted chocolate in the car is melted lipstick and chapstick.
Oh, I've done
That's
that
awful.
so many times. Yeah, just don't do that. And don't leave any water bottles, too, because then they just become gross and hot, and you don't want that.
All right, thank
Good
you.
advice. I'm Adam Atchison.
I'm Rebecca Hager. We've got a live look here. Our Banning Lewis Ranch camera, those blue skies, and you can already see the bright sunlight creating that golden hour glow on that neighborhood.
Right over to Sydney Jackson. Sydney, this is kind of a preview of a lot of sunshine that we're expecting a little bit later today. But happening right now, more local families are volunteering to be foster parents, and experts say it comes at a time when more volunteers are needed.
11 News reporter Melissa Henry talked to El Paso County Human Services about this, and they said it's always important for families to foster children, but what trends, Melissa, are they noticing now?
Melissa Henry, KKTV 11 News.
Yeah, certainly always good to see people stepping up to take care of our kids in need. Thank you. All right, we are looking ahead this morning. The Cog Railway is set to reopen in May. You should be able to take the Cog Railway up the mountain to see the Pikes Peak Summit House. It's been closed about 2 years while getting a $100 million renovation. When it's all said and done, there will be new tracks, rail cars, and the depot. It's still set to open around the same time as the new Pikes Peak Summit House, which we showed you an update earlier this week. Some good news for local animal shelters today. The Humane Society of the Pikes Peak region is seeing hundreds less strays coming into their facility than last year.
And 11 News reporter Kasha Carriage is live there at the facility now. Kasha, the staff says this is great news for animals. Nearly a month has gone by and the Colorado DA has made no decision on whether or not a woman will be charged for allegedly hitting a protester.
This was all caught on camera. You're seeing it now. Coming up, how the man in this video says he avoided getting pinned by the car. It is up to a Colorado district attorney to decide whether the driver who hit this protester with her car will be charged. It was caught on camera in Denver. Let's watch. It's a pretty chaotic video. It all happened in May during a George Floyd protest. We just learned the DA in Denver has had this video and the investigation since June 15th, but has yet to make a decision. The man who was hit says he had no choice but to jump on the SUV to avoid getting pinned. We have not heard from the driver. We know that the driver left the scene but was later caught. 2 deaths are being investigated as a murder-suicide. The bodies were found Friday afternoon in a house on Front Street in Monument, which is not far from Monument Lake. The sheriff's office says 64-year-old Robert Johnson killed 40-year-old Michelle Johnson and then killed himself. The sheriff's office says the two were divorced but living together. When it comes to the coronavirus pandemic in Colorado, medical experts say that we are losing progress. Coming up, the milestone we are close to hitting.
Also this morning, a gun battle in a local neighborhood.
All right, thank you. New today, a local shelter is seeing significantly less animals in recent weeks.
11 News reporter Kasha Carriage is live from the Humane Society.
Colorado's COVID case numbers are getting closer to the 35,000 mark. A local health expert tells us case and hospitalizations are both rising. El Paso County's deputy medical director says we are not where we need to be. In fact, he says we are not even in as good of a place as we were a month or two ago. The rate of positive cases increased from 2.7% of those tested the week of June 7th to 3.4% last week.
6:52 later today, a new round of COVID testing.
Tonight's your chance to get answers to any legal questions you may have, and it's free. The El Paso County Bar Association is holding another one of its free phone clinics. It's tonight from 7 to 9 p.m. If you call, you will be paired one-on-one with an attorney who will be able to give you legal advice or help you figure out your next step. All you have to do is call the number on your screen to ask your question.
Some people will probably.
Looking ahead, school is scheduled to begin in many local districts within the next 6 weeks. The superintendent of D60 in Pueblo says a task force of 75 teachers, parents, students, and administrators is meeting to make recommendations. The district says each student in K through 12 will be provided with their own iPad or Chromebook next year. That will allow an easier transition between learning in person and learning at home. With record heat in the forecast, officials are reminding drivers to never leave pets alone in vehicles. Temperatures inside a car can reach 120 degrees in just minutes, even if windows are open. Colorado does offer immunity for those who break into a locked vehicle to rescue an animal or at-risk person. People who leave pets in a hot car can be ticketed for animal cruelty and face fines or jail time. This is happening today. President Trump is meeting with the president of Mexico at the White House. The leaders are celebrating the new North American free trade deal. You're seeing a live look of the White House right now. The United States-Mexico-Canada agreement went into effect 1 week ago today. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will not be at that meeting.
Cases that are supposed to come down sometime in the next couple of hours. We'll update you at home when we know more about that.
Yeah, and don't forget, it's going to be hot today. It's only 7 o'clock, so you still have time to get outside before you can't anymore. Have a great day, everyone.